Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 202. I'm Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, joined with
Jamil Damji. I'm happy to be here,
I'm
bro.
happy for you to be here.
2024.
Yep.
It's our year.
It's
everybody's year.
Yeah.
You got the shit kicked out of you in 23? I did.
Really?
A little bit. I made more money than I'd ever had in my life.
Yeah.
But, life is
events.
Obstacles,
Sure.
man. It's interesting to understand that things can get really bumpy. And no matter, look, you got to split your life into quadrants.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
You've got your business.
Yep.
You've got your family.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your physical.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got your spiritual.
Yep.
If those four quadrants aren't balanced,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter how much you have in one.
Yeah.
The other three will. If you're not balanced in all four, you'll suffer in one of them, right? And I learned that lesson in 23. So for 24, my word is balance, man.
Yeah.
It's really just understanding like where I got to spend the exact, like just as much time, energy, effort in all of them so that I am growing in every way possible. Because, money is fun, but it's not as fun as being able to share it.
Yep.
It's also not as fun as feeling really connected
Yep.
with your spirit.
Yep.
And if you're fat, it's hard to even get out of bed.
Sure.
So
Sure.
all the things, man.
So how do you do that and get to 100 million? Because
And-
100, listen, like one of the first conversations you and I have
Yeah.
ever had
Yeah.
was, I am going to make $100 million. I'm
100%
going to put $100 million. I wrote it on the 2x4s of the house that you
Yep.
built.
Yep.
100 million. You put it on the show. You put it all over the place,
Yep.
right? You've got it locked into your head.
Yep.
So until you get that, is it hustle season? And if it is hustle season, how is there balance?
No, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you can get to $100 million by like, okay, I'm gonna get a little woo here, but
Yeah.
but you can do it the Newtonian way, right? Let's talk science.
Yeah.
Right, where it's just like, okay, force
Mm-hmm.
and force is mass times acceleration,
Mhm.
right? So if I want to create something, I can force it, and I can force it and push and push and push and push and push, and yeah, you'll get there, right? But that is going to create. There's friction.
Mm-hmm.
There's all the bumps. There's rattlesnakes. There's this. There's that. There's an enormous amount of ways to fall, stumble, and break in that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I've met people. Actually, I was on a phone call yesterday morning with a man who's exited 3 companies at 50 million each.
Yeah.
Dude's hanging out in India right now, just having a ball. He's like in his late 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, interesting. I'm a fan of a yogi named Sadhguru, who's this really interesting, cool dude, right?
Yeah.
I got selected to be a part of this little influencer incubator thing where he spent 10 days with this dude in a monastery. So I'm like going.
When is this?
In March.
All right.
So we got on a Zoom so he could invite me to that, which was like, I was in tears because I would absolutely adore that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So what I realized is this man he didn't do it the Newtonian way. He did it internally.
Mm-hmm.
Inner engineering, right? You have to feel like 100 millionaire.
Yeah.
You have to feel like 100 millionaire. You have to think like 100 millionaire. And then you open your 2 dumb eyes
Mm-hmm.
and you will find the opportunities that get you to $100 million. And that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
listen,
Is he an inventor? Because I feel like that there's differences between
he's a dot connector.
people that
He
connect
can-
dots
yeah.
and people that are merchants. And I feel like we're merchants.
We can be.
Yeah.
We can be merchants. We can be inventors. We can be business. Bro, there is in nobody ever said you could exit a wholesale company before.
Right.
You're in the middle of a company. You're a part of a company that could take an exit. I'm part of a company that could take an exit. This
Right.
is something that was completely disavowed by those,
Sure.
prior to us, right?
Yeah.
And now I've understood that there's way too much BS,
Mm-hmm.
and there's you.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what you want. You follow what you feel. You ignore the BS and keep trucking.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you were going. You're still going.
I'm still going.
It's still like
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I remember I texted you Happy Father's Day. I don't
Yes.
know, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I said I'm just chilling at the pool and barbecuing, and you're like, well, I'm serving. I'm doing my mastermind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? As much as I love doing that mastermind, I should have been with my kid.
Got it.
Truth.
But so how do you turn that on and off? How do you know where the line is? How do you know? Because
you learn the
about
lines.
this
You learn the line.
That's it.
Trial and error, man.
Yeah.
Trial and error. So like I've made a commitment to my daughter to spend a week in Canada every month. I
Awesome.
rented a place out there. I have like marked it out. We went into her school calendar. We found out all the days she's got, like, the Friday off or the Monday off. And I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be there the whole week because she's been coming to America on her breaks.
Right.
She comes in like spring break, after New Year, summer vacation. So what does she get? Fun. Poor mom has to have all the heavy lifting, right?
Sure.
She's got to do the disciplining, the all the hard work, which God bless that woman because she's incredible.
Yeah.
But when Charisma comes to me, it's a party.
Yeah.
Right? Well, no, it ain't. That's not what life is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got to be there, even if it's just for a week, a month, where I wake up, make sure she gets her butt to school, drive her to school, pick her up from school,
Mm-hmm.
help her do her homework,
Mm-hmm.
and just do boring stuff.
Yeah.
Like boring, but it's not boring. It's like stuff that it will enrich my life to be able to sit there and do algebra with her.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and she'll never forget that. She'll never forget the fact that dad is as busy as he is,
Mm-hmm.
and as much as he's got going on, he decided that I'm more important than any of that.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
that's the balance, bro. That's what it's about.
Do you know through the different companies that you have how many people you employ?
It's
Like just ballpark.
I mean, it's in the hundreds. It's probably for if we're not including Pace, because there's
No.
there's
Just Keegley and some of
Keegley and some of the New Reach. Yeah.
and
300.
right.
Yeah.
Does that weigh on you?
All the time.
Don't you have to be on all the time? Don't you have to be pushing all the time? Because businesses either grow or they die.
You definitely have to work,
Right.
but you don't have to be on all the time.
Got it.
You don't have to be on all the time. You don't, man. Like there is absolutely an opportunity to breathe,
Mhm.
and you can create so much more from a place of like, dude, I've seen some people who just like fall into their body and they're not in their head. They're not in thought. They fall into their body and then they can do something in a short amount of time that
Mhm.
is way more meaningful, way more impactful than anything you could do in 2 weeks.
Right.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Efficient, intentional, and then get it done, move on.
Well, and that's something that I've really found, and it was interesting. You were saying it right before we went live. You got to talk to more people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then when you're starting out in this business, you talk to as many people as you can, as many property owners as you can, and many as investors as you can, real estate agents as you can, other business professionals in our industry as much as you can, and then it kind of just you start talking to other people all day long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody that hasn't exited a business, but that is in the thick of things, that isn't on the phone all day long.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
who are you?
Well, as I said, I'm on a Zoom with the dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man, like at 3 companies, 50 million each, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that's an example because I'm a dot connector too, right? Look, I got multiple streams of income. You know, I got this wholesale operation that's crushing. We've got Astro crushing.
Mm-hmm.
I got my little payment thing going on right now, which is like, I can't even believe it.
Mm-hmm.
It's life is good, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, the chances and the reality of $100 million exit on my horizon are 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
So what does it mean if it takes me 2 extra years
Mm-hmm.
and I get to see my daughter more?
That's what I'm saying.
What does it matter?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Why do I got to go fast?
Yeah. Well, I think that if you put constraints on how much you work, you work when you're supposed to work.
Right.
And then you go, okay, if I can work as much as I can, if I can do all this work in 20 hours, what's 21 hours? What's 22 hours? What's 25 hours? And then you start going, okay, can I do what I did in 25 or 30 hours in 10 hours?
Right. And you can.
Right?
You really can.
Well, that's really what leadership is. That's really what bringing in talented people into your team to replace certain things that you do. Right?
I never thought that Monique Walker would ever, because she's the stickiest relationship I have.
Work with anybody else?
No, that she would ever like allow me to bring in somebody from my operation to jump in.
Yeah.
Dude. So Zach on my team, he's phenomenal, right?
He's the best.
He's the best. So I got Zach there. And so I had to introduce him into the situation because I'm like, Monique, look, you are going, and I want to honor the fact that you're on the phone at the time that you're on the phone and you need answers fast.
Mm-hmm.
And the way my life is going right now, I'm getting answers to you in 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable. Right. And it's not because I don't honor the opportunity. It's because I'm literally, my phone isn't with me because I can't have it with me because I'm, on a podcast or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. I just can't get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring in my cohort here who is as talented as I am, who I've trained, that can understand this he'll understand it even better than I do right now because he's in the trenches in my company, and he lickety split, right? Yeah. So that relationship, not that I'm not overseeing it, not that Monique and I aren't the best of friends, and we still now have higher level conversations, but you need a buy price.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I spent years in that stinky office. Go to Zach.
Yeah.
Right? I spent years in that little office in the back room comping houses.
Yeah.
I don't know,
with
dude.
basketball shorts and
all
slides on.
Flip-flops, in my little polo t-shirts.
Yeah.
My belly hanging out, all the things, right? But I did it. I put my time in. I put my work in. I'm still putting in work.
Yeah.
But you do it I hate the cliche of it. There's levels to it, but there are.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
And when you are finally in it and you finally start to see how those levels materialize, well, they happen in the mind first.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of make a platform in your head, and then you're like, okay, and then you're on it.
Yeah.
But the human condition doesn't allow us to get satisfied there.
Right.
Right. So you're like, well, what's the next platform?
Mm-hmm.
And then you make it, and then you're there, and you go and you go and you go, and then you die.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we don't get to take any of it with us.
No. But
we leave a legacy. And so, it's an interesting thing we're doing here, dude. We accumulate, we collect,
mm-hmm.
we do all these things.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the balance of the 4,
yeah,
think about it, right? Say you just made all the money,
mm-hmm.
and you didn't care about the family, you didn't care about the soul, you didn't care about the body, the health, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got all the money. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a point because you neglected the other 3 boxes
mm-hmm.
that you'll die now alone, spiritually bankrupt, and probably intubated on some like breathing machine.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
Then you get those folks who are like, you know what? I don't even give a crap about life. I want to go to the Himalayan mountains. I just want to like meditate all day long and, not shower and just like, do a thing. Just be like, I want to try to levitate or whatever, right? All right, cool. I got nothing against it. All right. But at the same time, that dude will probably just die in that mountain.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And no one's going to find him. No one's going to care. And away it goes. Right? You put deposits in all of them. You put deposits in all of them so that when you're at the end, when you have put deposits in all 4 quadrants, that's the legacy.
Yeah.
That's the legacy. And I think that at some point, that's what we're doing here.
Well, it also, I mean, listen, the legacy part is not the money.
No.
It's not the things. It's not and probably not even the experiences.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Because you forget them.
It's the echoes of what people have gotten out of our life.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Did we help somebody to succeed and now they're on a totally different path that they never would have been on before? Right? Or you're not balanced in your 4 quadrants. Your kids are going to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Your kids are going to see where you're unbalanced and they're either going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of like entrepreneurial kids of entrepreneurial parents. They don't want to be business owners.
No.
They don't.
No, they want to. Some of the. Interestingly enough, you bring this up because I was having a conversation with an entrepreneur that has a child, right? That they're trying to get like to really care about business.
Yeah.
You know what dude wants to do? Raise goats.
That's it. I get it.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
I want to raise goats.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, peace, goats.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, you know, and if you can live a good enough life that you can provide your child the opportunity to like grow up and raise goats, phenomenal.
Well, that's why when you're looking as an entrepreneur, when in your schedule are you going to be able to hunt for the opportunities? Because I think that there's something just innate, Jamil. I think that there's something in each and every one of our brains that's just like, you know what, I don't want to be controlled by somebody else. We probably went to school, but we weren't like excited to go to school.
Who was excited?
You know
to
what
go
I
to
mean?
school?
People are. People love it. Some people do, right? I mean, and
nerd.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean,
I'm playing.
You know what I mean? Like
playing.
we just don't want somebody to control the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
We don't want to be feared that we're going to be fired. We don't want to worry about like this slow way to 401k wealth that hopefully I get enough and my kids will take care of me at the end of it. Right. We're just built differently as entrepreneurs. Right.
Yes, sir.
So if we're built different, if we start with that premise, that hypothesis, then how are you going to go out there and serve the marketplace? Right. So what are you going to do? All right. So you choose, it's going to be real estate.
Right.
It's going to be finding great opportunities.
Yeah.
It's going to be flipping. It's going to be basically to replace your income. You got to flip or you got to do assignments. That's it.
Yep.
You're not getting rich off of rentals.
So I had this great debate today with Jason Hartman. You know Jason Hartman?
Of course.
Yeah. Brilliant dude. Right?
Brilliant dude.
So we did it'll be coming out on my YouTube channel here in a bit. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do it anyways, because
get in there.
Get in it. There's a video coming out next week that's going to blow your socks off. And him and I get into it about it because, he's a fan of rentals.
Yeah.
And I was, explaining to him why I'm not.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
How in my long-term rentals have been, my short-term rentals have been,
right.
My pad splits have been going but he's like, that's not a proven model yet.
Right.
You wait till we see what the shakeout is with like the municipalities and the cities and there's going to be outrage. There's going to be people like, you got a freaking rooming house next to me over here. Like what's going on? So we'll see in the next 5 years how that shakes out. And I am giving so much positive energy to Pad Split. I hope it works for them.
Sure.
And I'm going to promote the heck out of them because I feel that it is an answer to, like, it's literally the step before homelessness, right? If you can get into a Pad Split at like a weekly rental, you're paying $200. I got a place to live. I got a bed. I got a shower. I got a fridge I got a kitchen to cook my stuff. I can go to work in dignity.
Yep.
I had an Uber driver that I had to, he was picking me up from the airport and pops up the trunk and there's a suitcase in the trunk already. Right. And it's open and it's just clothes in there. Right. I get into the it's a black car. Right. He's sitting there. It's a little funky. Sorry. If you're watching this, bro, I'm not trashing you. I love you. I give you a good tip too. But homie must have been sleeping in it.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I realized it, right? I'm like, this man is busting his ass, and he's paying attention to what we're doing. He's learning, he's trying, he's working, he cares, he wants it. But at the end of the day, he's got to fold them back seats down. He's got to pull up a blanket, and he's just got to park at a Walmart and sleep.
Yeah.
Right. And then he gets up and does it again. Right. So when you have these opportunities where companies are coming in to solve problems for affordable housing, I love that. Right. But Jason, going back to that, he has this slide which kind of like really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. And the first thing was the delta between the actual between actual inflation and reported inflation.
Yep.
Right. Reported inflation is it's usually half of actual.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So then
I think we all feel that.
Yeah. So now take this into consideration, right? And this is where I'm gonna give so much credit to our brother Pace, because he's collecting a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And collecting good debt, right? 2, 3, 4% mortgages, right? Which is great. That's an asset, right? But when they print money the way they print money, think about it. It means that the dollar now has less value. So
I get it.
So
I know where you're going.
So it's like the pay down on that. You get to pay it down with cheaper money.
You're not getting rich though.
Now you get
getting wealthy.
You get the depreciation. You get the depreciation.
Yeah.
Right. You get appreciation.
Okay.
Maybe cash flow. If you can figure it out. If you pad split it, you get some cash flow.
But pad split's like multifamily. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about like single family rentals is a joke.
Listen, I agree with you in that aspect.
Yeah.
And I think that's where him and I bifurcated.
Yeah.
Because I look at the single family thing, and I have some, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I didn't.
Right.
For real.
Yeah. Great for long-term wealth. But what I'm saying is you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You want to either replace your income or make enough income to start building momentum. You need to either flip or assign.
Yeah.
You're not getting it from the cash flow from a single family rental. That's long-term wealth.
But now again, right? It depends on how you do it, right? I think Pace bought $100 million of the real estate last year.
Sure.
Right. And he was very real with in his conversation with me. Of course, there's always like it takes time to get them up and going.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be that little break of like, okay, I acquire it, now I got to get it fixed up,
$3,000 on average.
Yeah, whatever.
Every
that
time
is,
you turn
right?
it over,
whatever that is, and then away he goes, right?
Yeah.
So there's that balancing act of that situation. But now, if let's just say 80%, okay, of his stuff breaks even or slightly cash flows, right? At $100 million, that's a check, right? That's a check equivalent to what Mike Keegley take home is,
right?
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey guys, be landlords, because I'm a wholesaler. I'll always be the wholesaler, right? You're a wholesaler. That's what we do. It's what we do.
Because it's an elevated position.
Yeah,
in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, finding the opportunities, you get to look down at every kind of exit strategy that you want. But if you don't have deals, you don't have deals.
That's it.
And what I'm going back to is we have these brains that say we don't want to be somebody to control the rest of our lives. So then we start a business. We're drawn to real estate. We understand the power of long-term wealth building with real estate. I'm not saying anything. If you want to buy real estate, great. Never sell it. You'll make an absolute fortune. You'll change the financial future for your families forever if you don't sell it, right? But that's not what's going to pay the bills and get you going to full time. So you go into this business. You have responsibilities. Oftentimes, people are coming from different industries or different life. I mean, you got a lot of people coming from the military. You got a lot of people coming from teaching. You got a lot of people coming from truck driving. You got a lot of people that are in college. You got a lot of people. You've got some. You've got some responsibility. Some people have kids and families and everything, right? And so you got to be absolutely laser focused on what is the most income generating activity I can do today.
There's nothing. Yeah, get on the phone. Get on the phone and start talking to everybody.
Everybody. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. How efficient can you be on the phone? One, you got to pull really great lists.
Yep.
AI's helping us with all that.
Yeah.
All right. We could just see some ugly houses. So driving around, we find ugly houses. We can call on all those. We can easily pull up on Zillow or Redfin or on the MLS properties that have TLC or as is or whatever else. We can start making offers. But it's just how efficient can you be in the time that you're supposed to work? That's why I say the dumbest people make the most money. Because they're not pulling comps before they talk to the homeowner.
Right.
They're not trying to get their list absolutely laser perfect, right?
Yep.
They're just seeing rough houses and trying to get in front of that property owner.
Yep.
That's absolutely it. Or the people that represent those properties. That's the whole business. So don't like go into this thing thinking that you have to recreate everything. Start with just having a quality conversation, have as many as possible, start building up your experience, and then you can start hiring people.
There's I did a To the Moon episode today with a gentleman named Jason Lee.
Yeah.
That's in the Astro community, right? He's to describe him as an introvert would be an understatement.
Sure.
Okay. And this is not at all disparaging. He's a beautiful man, beautiful family, like incredible dude, right? His story was fascinating because he had a trauma against entrepreneurship because of a thing his father did when he was young.
Sure.
So he was just like, entrepreneurship is garbage, right? Because he saw like the whole
evil.
world explode.
Yeah, sure.
Right. He's in this little box. He's a FedEx driver. And so he's working 9 to 5. He can't really, he can't do the follow-ups. He can't do the things, right? So he gets Astro Blaster, right? This is not a commercial for it, but the only way he could actually maintain follow-ups, because here's the thing. A lot of us, when we're doing this business, we first start and it's motivation that gets us on the phone, and that motivation lasts 3-5 days. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what happens? You get back into your life.
Yeah.
And you stop doing the work.
Yeah.
Right? You stop following up, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, the robot kept doing the touches. He said it took 10 touches on an agent. He wasn't even like involved in it because it was the robot doing the talking. Agent sends him a deal, an off-market pocket listing in one of the most difficult markets. I hear people say all the time, oh, LA is impossible. So this is LA. Okay. He gets sent a house in LA. Agent says, we want $999. He's like, you get $850. They're like, okay. So they take it. Then he goes on this like roller coaster ride to try to sell the deal. The deal goes under contract like 3 times, falls out. It's just this massive, like emotional roller coaster for him. Ultimately sells it for $880, makes $30,000.
Nice.
And honestly, right? If you were to say to him, when you watch this, you'll be like, okay, it'll show you that you don't have to be a specific type of person. You don't have to have a big personality like Brent Daniels. You don't have to be a creative genius like Pace Morby. You don't have to have done 7,000 wholesale deals like Jamil Damji. You don't have to be anything like that.
Yeah.
You can be a regular person and have the most phenomenal life, making the most phenomenal money if you just figure this incredible business of wholesale real estate. It is truly the most game-changing, life-changing, amazing thing I have ever experienced in my life.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd be like, I don't even know. I'd very likely be an Uber driver. I'm brown. That makes sense. That's what would have happened. If I didn't find wholesale, I'd have been a taxi or an Uber driver. I don't know. Medical school didn't let me in, so what other options did I have? Right?
Yeah.
I probably would have been a really good Uber driver too. I promise. I would have been the guy with all the good stuff in it.
You got the disco lights.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. It would just be Tupac all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People would love it. You'd be dressed as Tupac, tank top, showing off the tat.
God.
It'd be great.
So good. Guys, get your questions in the chat. We want to help you.
We're gonna
with
answer
your
a bunch
stuff.
of questions. We just wanted to warm it up for the first half hour here. Jamil, how is 2024 looking so far for you guys?
Okay.
Because you have some stats. I got some stats.
I got stats, man.
I want to run through this so that we can.
We're up 25%. 25% volume uptick from the beginning of 2024 to right now in terms of volume if we're comparing it to December of 2023. Okay, so this is just like how many phone calls, contracts, assignments, phone calls, contracts, assignments. It is booming right now.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that it's booming. It absolutely makes sense that it's booming. We have now been given the forecast of an attempted soft landing of the Fed.
Mm-hmm.
We're in an election year. We understand what that means.
It's the year of the dragon, they say as well.
Yeah, it is.
Which is always exciting.
Always exciting, right? I was born in the horror side. I don't know. I mean, but I got a dragon tattoo, so maybe it's something. I don't know. We'll see. But truly though, I do believe that here are the two statistics I think are important for you to watch in 2024. I think you need to look at months of inventory. On the market because
everybody
right now the lock-in effect is what's keeping inventory off the market. So people holding 2, 3, 4% mortgages, they're saying, ain't gonna sell, gonna either rent it or stay put. But I'm never gonna, because they're now realizing that the debt is the asset.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they're holding on. And they've been holding on. But what happens when we get to 5? And you're at 4. Now that delta is like a point.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden that decision-making process of do I sell doesn't become so difficult anymore. Because when it was 7, 7.5, that was a hard decision. That was actually an easy decision to make. You're like, nope, ain't going to do it. But now when that delta gets smaller and smaller and smaller, there is going to be more inventory on the market. But guess what? All these people that say it's going to crash, nothing happens that fast.
No.
It happens in stages. Everything happens in these like little chunks, like little tiny little waves, right? And so I believe that we'll get better affordability because rates will come down. But sadly, I don't mean sadly, because I'm a real estate investor. I want appreciation, but I care about the general population. I care about people like there's young people that are sitting in this audience right now. I want these dudes to own homes.
Yeah.
I want these guys to have their own homes. I want them to be able to afford to live in their own houses. Right now, they're learning wholesale real estate, so y'all probably be able to get it done. But there's other people out there bagging groceries at the Safeway right now who would like to live in their own home, who want to be able to paint their own walls, who want to not have landlords just up and kick them out one day and say, hey, I'm going to sell. I'm moving to California or wherever. I'm going to sell the property or I'm changing my situation or whatever, and you got to go. Like that happened to us. And because my sister had a young one, nobody wanted to take us in.
Right.
Like nobody wanted to it was like two elderly people, my sister and a baby. And we are well-qualified people with great income, with great credit scores, and nobody wanted to rent to us. So when you think about it in the terms of that, like that's dangerous, dude. That's dangerous. So I'm rooting for the American, like the regular dude, the regular female, the regular family that there's an opportunity at some point for home ownership to become something that's not a luxury, that it is actually a reality for many people, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't know if we're going to get there. I don't.
You think because of inventory?
No, I mean, I think pricing.
Yeah.
Well, inventory and pricing, but I think it's like, you know, if rates come down, but
but the whole economy runs around the real estate market. You know what I mean? They got to keep building new houses.
That's what they need to do.
Right.
Actually, the answer is build more houses.
That's why we see huge appreciation is when they stop building houses, when interest rates go up. Yeah.
Which they did.
I mean, but between 2010 and through 2020, look at the stats. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like every 10 years, it was like 20 million new houses, 20 million new houses from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010 to 2020, 6 million.
Yeah. What do you think? What did you hear? What's the deficit that you've heard right now?
Oh, I have no idea.
Jason and I were chatting.
Yeah.
So we have 149 million homes in the United States. Okay. We are 12.5 million homes short. We are 12.5 million homes short.
Yeah.
And there are more 35-year-olds.
Well, the deficit of houses.
Houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are more 35-year-old men living in their parents' home than there should be. For real.
Yeah.
Because they can't, they don't have another option.
Right. Yeah, but interest rates are going to do what interest rates do. The all of the media is going to be, consumed by the election. So it's going to be a fantastic year. It's going to be a fantastic year for everybody to go out there and find a great opportunity and to start really building your business. And this is your big word of the year is balance. Mine is big. Go big.
Do it.
We're expanding. We're getting into other markets. We're excited about that. I mean, I think that this is the time for sure, especially with all the technology that's out there now and the ability to really understand values quickly and really be able to approach cash buyers quickly and understand what's going on. I think there's no reason why anybody couldn't be in any market, to be honest. I mean, there's some markets are going to be better than others, but we're going big. We're going to add three. We're going to add 3 markets over the next 3 years. So Phoenix being the main market.
Consult with me on that because I have data.
Oh, I know. Well, I talked to Jeremy Dispo today, and he's like,
good.
"Well, let's just hook in with Keegley wherever they're at, and we'll just sell the deals there. We don't even have to worry about all of that, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so that makes it super easy. But also, it's like the marketing. So we're looking at it a couple different ways because it's interesting. Because you see, there's 2 main models. Really, if you boil it all down to like big boy, big girl business. There's hire 30 to 40 callers, get as many leads in as possible, train up absolute savages to take all those leads in, convert them, do it all over the phone, send it virtually, get them locked up, get them sold, right?
Yep.
Solid model.
Yep.
Solid model.
Yep.
Ton of turnover.
Yep.
Ton of turnover, ton of training.
Yep.
Right. But the budgets aren't bad. I broke the budget down there because I talked to Jason Hubley, who owns Call Motivated Sellers.
Yep.
And you can get somebody, it just depends on the budget, $8.50 to $30 an hour. Right. Just depends on what kind of quality, what kind of experience. But if let's just say you sit right there in the middle and you want somebody really good, 10 agents for $15 an hour is $6,000 a week. Okay. 24 grand a week. I mean, 24 grand a month for our businesses is not
nothing.
It's not huge.
No, it's not because you got, what is that? 2 deals?
Oh, maybe 1 deal.
Well, for you,
two
of mine, 1 of yours.
Two deals in if you were to average it out, the average deal size is about 15,000, right?
Yep.
So 2 deals. So imagine having 400 hours of calls by these cold callers because they go 40 hours a week. They talk to a tremendous amount of people. They then get it in, and you have great data, and you know how to filter the data,
right?
And you put them in the best position to win, and they're managed,
right?
They send them in. Now you need a team to be able to convert them,
or convert them.
You need to convert them.
Yeah,
that's where everybody really makes it because getting the low hanging fruit and talking to enough people and it's really tough to screw up a motivated seller.
Yeah,
it really is. Because they're going to sell. They have a problem. They're going to sell. It just depends. The magic is, are they going to sell to you?
Right.
That's where the magic is. That's where the skills are. So your acquisition team has to be absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. You have to hire really great people. You got to train them. And it's a bigger machine. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
The other side of this is pay-per-click everything.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on it though.
Pay-per-click everything.
I mean, I don't know though.
We went 1 to 4.
Yep.
This year. And I'll tell you the numbers. The average cost for pay-per-click last year was $7,200 here in Phoenix
per deal.
Okay. Average deal size was 25,000. All right. So 72 into 25,000, and start to finish, first contact to close 50 days. Right. Calls start to finish 108 days. Right. So you're not getting your money back out of that investment for building a big team for typically about 90 days. That's probably pretty average, but ours was 108 days. Right.
Yep.
So pay-per-click's faster.
Yep.
Pay-per-click, you need way less people.
Yep.
Because you have way less leads.
Right.
Right. So your overhead's lower if you have people on base plus salary.
You have, I mean, I know who you got doing the pay-per-click for you, right? Phenomenal dude. Very rare.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
I've hired probably 10 agencies
Yeah.
in our history.
Yeah.
And every one of them have been dog shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you need somebody to watch it hourly, and that's something that we've learned.
Yeah.
I mean, you need the campaigns watched hourly, and we have like 10 people that we're working with in the Rhino Tribe that throughout the country that we're doing pay-per-click, and we'll build an agency around that's really good to make sure that it's really focused. But the leads are now.
Yep.
The leads are incoming.
Yep.
I mean, the acquisition team loves it.
Yep.
And you don't have to have as many people. So it's like this balancing act.
Yeah.
Do you hire 10 people to make calls and another 5 acquisition managers or 3 acquisition managers?
Can you scale that though? Because that's the other piece,
Of course.
right? How? Because it's so like, because now you got to have the rock star, because it's Johnny Rocket on the spot. You got to be the guy that's getting the phone.
Yeah.
You also got to be the guy that can convert. And let's be
for which side, the calls or
PPC,
the PPC?
PPC, right? That there's the other piece. So you've got a great situation.
Yeah.
But at like scale is my issue with that, right? Because you can do this across the country, and you can probably help hundreds of people across the country, maybe thousands of people across the country.
Yeah.
But how do you? At what point can you be like, okay, we spent $24,000 this month on pay-per-click. Spend 200.
Right. Oh no, there's a cap.
That's what I'm saying.
No. There's certainly a cap, and you find that out. We found like at 35,000 in our market here in Phoenix. There's a huge drop. Huge.
So
but you need to manage your accounts to be able to see that. You got to be watching all the metrics all the time. The issue is people set it, they start getting success, and then they leave it, and then that's when you see it goes
to hell. Yep.
Nobody's watching it.
Yep.
You need somebody watching it like a hawk. Seriously.
And I mean, again,
Google's making a ton of changes.
Yeah,
all the time. You got to be on top of all of that. So it's like the TTP in me is like, oh, cold call team, bunch of people, get them in here.
Yeah.
It's going to be great content.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, you see people, on YouTube now, and they're getting a bunch of people following them, and they love it because it's like that old school pit, right? The leads are coming in. They're doing the negotiations live on their YouTube channels and all this, right?
Great.
It's great, right? Yeah. So there's something to that, but the flip side of that, a lot of turnover, bro.
Yeah.
A tremendous amount of recruiting and turnover and training, because it's a tremendous amount of leads.
Yeah.
And every one of those people have to be willing to call 60 to 70 people, hand dial a day,
which is difficult.
Day after day
after day.
after day
Yep.
after day after day. You know what I mean? And when you're recruiting for this business, as well as I do, part of it is I want to be in that environment so I can have my own business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you go for a year making 50, 60 calls every single day. All of a sudden, you want to do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go build this yourself. You want the whole pie. You don't just want a piece of the pie.
Yep.
So it's just there's more friction, I think, in that process than a pay-per-click. But pay-per-click, you got to watch your budgets. You got to test it all the time, testing all the time. But the leads have been fantastic. We did phenomenal. But you want to hear something crazy?
What?
TV last year?
Yeah.
Average deal size $60,000.
Wow.
Average spend $37,000
per deal. Yeah, so turn it off.
Oh, yeah, it's off. But think about that. Think about if you did have 10 agents calling that was super talented and getting in. It's just like that whole thing.
They were like,
and I want to ask you, because you have this big machine.
Yeah.
You have a big office with a lot of people and all these things.
Super low turnover.
Right.
Yeah. But we drug them all.
You drug them all.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you got them all bewitched.
No, it's the culture, brother.
Right.
Like we have an incredible culture in that organization, right? It is beautiful.
Yeah.
And the drug is love.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like we love on the people in that company.
Recognition, attention, all
the things.
Yep.
All the things.
All right, let's get to some questions. Armai Akai, can I hire 2 callers as interns? Compensation would be experience and some coaching plus bonus for closing. Would this work? No.
Sorry.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I did it for years.
Yeah. It never works.
No, I did it with real estate agents.
They show up on day one.
Yeah.
They're late on day two. They're not there on day three.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, if you want people's attention,
What's up? It's exactly how it goes.
If you want people's attention in your world, you need to be able to provide something for them, and it can't just be experience.
No.
People need some sort of base plus, or just pay them hourly.
Yep.
I've always found I've kept the same phone prospectors, one now for 4.5 years, maybe 5 years. Fran might be 5 years, hourly. You pay him hourly. No, she doesn't even want bonus.
Yeah.
She just wants either more hours or she just wants job security.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I always found that the best callers live overseas. Not that they were born here, they were raised here. Expats.
Yeah.
Yep. They are living in Central or South America, and they have no other options for jobs. Right. It's either customer service or it's sales, and sales is just more exciting for them. So I love the idea. I wish it would work. I tried it a bazillion times. I tried it even with my platform and given my coaching and giving everything in the blueprint to build $1 million business. They last 6 days.
Yeah. You doubled what I like, I mean, literally day one, they show up, they're pumped. Day two, they're late. Day three, they're not there.
Yeah.
That's the recipe.
Yep. I love it. Here we go. I'm hesitating to contract houses because of not having a buyer list. How can I find more buyers?
There's tons of ways to actually.
There's a website they could go to.
Yeah. There's a. You can just reach out to a Keegley. You know, we're a dispo wholesaler, so you can, like use us. But I'm not here to just self promote. There's plenty of ways to find buyers. Tax records, by far, one of the greatest tools in finding buyers. Right. Second, you use a tool like Privy. And you actually look at who's been closing properties, and then you find those organizations. Go to opencorporates.com, find out who the managing member of that organization is. You skip trace that person, you call them up, and you have a conversation. Next thing you do is you look at the MLS, you see who just listed a flip on the MLS over the last week, and you call the owner of that LLC again and say, hey, compliment the flip, tell them they did a beautiful job. Let them know you got one in the same area or in the same city that they just listed a house on. You'll know it's a flip because there's no clothes in the closet.
Yeah, Pace was going to join us. He had a last-minute meeting that he had to take care of, so we will see him next week, everybody. And so take a picture of us and send it to him. You ready? Actually, everybody come in here.
Let's get
come
in
here. Come here, audio. Yeah, come on. Everybody come in here. Take a picture of this. Send it to Pace. You guys all have him on Instagram. And tell him we miss him, and we'll see him next week.
Look at this live audience.
Hey, come on.
Hey.
Smile here. Awesome. All right, Great. Get out of here.
But hey, listen, I wanna invite as many of you as possible to come to Phoenix and actually experience the energy in this, of what happens in this city. It's known as the Mecca of wholesale for a reason.
Mecca real estate investing.
For a reason. There are more talented people. There's more energy focused towards what we do in this town than anywhere else. You can come visit the TTP offices. You can come visit the Keegley offices. You can hang out at Pace's organization and follow him around for a day. There's so much you can gain from coming out here and being around this energy that I highly recommend you guys do it. It's worth your time. It's worth the trip. And don't
you guys have something coming up in April?
My goodness, Brent.
Yeah.
Squad Up Summit 2024, bro. It's the biggest real estate event that's going to happen in all of the year, in my opinion.
No doubt.
3,000 people.
Yep.
We're nearly halfway sold out, which is impossible.
In January?
Yeah.
For April?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so if you have not yet got a ticket, go to Squad Up Summit. I think it's squadupsummit2024.com. Bobby, can you figure it out and put it in the chat? Thank you, bro. But Squad Up Summit 2024, I think.com. Bobby's going to put it in the chat. Get your ticket. Imagine being in a room with 3,000 wholesalers, 3,000 of them, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be phenomenal.
You'll make relationships there that'll last a lifetime.
Last a
For
lifetime.
real. Yep.
Brent, we love to have you there. I'd love to have the entire Rhino Tribe there. This is not. This is one of those times where I think this is like the family reunion of our business model.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is where we all come together and we're like best practices. This is where you have those interesting dinners with people. Like you find people that you resonate with and you go have dinner with them. You bring your families because it's going to be in Orlando, Florida. So if you've got
in Orlando?
Yeah, if you got your
Why
spouse,
Orlando?
Because it was the only place that we could find a venue big enough. Plus, we
What
wanted
are you doing? April in Phoenix is like the greatest time.
Yeah,
ever.
but we wanted
When in April is it?
April 23rd to 25th.
Nice.
Bobby, did you find the website? 23rd to 25th? April 23rd to 25th. Squad Up Summit 2024.com, I think. But we wanted it to be in a family-friendly area because we hope that you bring your spouses, that you bring your kids. Go to Disney World. There's going to be so many of us that are going to be spending extra days there and just hanging out with our families and look, if you've got, if in your family right now, your people are like, hey, I don't know if this is really like a real thing. Bring them to that event.
Yeah.
Let them see what that is about. We got Mel Robbins coming.
Awesome.
It's impossible to book that woman.
Yeah, she's incredible.
And Donald Miller
what was
from
her thing?
Story
8
Brand.
seconds something. What was her thing? It's like,
I've
8 seconds something. Mel
Robbins.
Mel Robbins. Look it up. It's it's good.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I adore that woman. But it's absolutely going to be a phenomenal opportunity, you guys. Just Squad Up Summit.
There's a question about
I messed it up.
Do
Thanks,
universities teach real estate investing? I know ASU has a real estate minor that you could do. Mike Mahoney got that. That's pretty cool. I think it's more like commercial real estate type thing and development is from what I can what I remember, but maybe not. Maybe it's more, maybe they'll talk about single family now that it's a thing.
Pace and I actually lectured
5-second rule. That's it. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you. Pace and I lectured at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
In a real estate class there.
Yeah.
It was
cool.
It was incredible. It was one of the coolest experiences to be able to do that.
I got the opportunity to speak at ASU's Real Estate Investing Club.
Amazing. This is
you got to go talk to him.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
This is I love it because higher education needs to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely needs to evolve. It has not yet embraced the fact that a sociology degree is not going to get you anywhere. Like they got to start being real with people in the admissions departments. No joke. Like what are you doing taking anthropology? Sorry if there's an anthropologist in the room. What are you doing? Like, I actually took anthropology because I had to. It was an elective. And the only thing I remember from it is Australopithecus.
What is that?
It was us before us. It was the people before Homo. Nice. Yeah, like before Homo sapiens, there was Australopithecus. We were hairy little
Were
gremlin.
we in Australia?
Yeah. No, we were that was what we were called. We were in Africa, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. That's we covered the college.
Yeah. I'm gonna get so many DMs tomorrow. Bring them on.
We got this question. Go ahead.
Can you identify what situation or moment turned you into a freedom fighter? Sharing all this knowledge. Oh my God, that's a great question. I will identify for me what it was. It was this man. Because I was invisible on social media. My profile picture on Instagram was an owl. I didn't answer DMs. I didn't care to because I was wholesaling too many houses.
Yeah.
But I was doing a lot of business with Brent, and he convinced me. He said, "Jamil, you're doing something here that is completely different, and it works. Obviously, it's working extremely well. Look at what's going on over here, and you gotta share it." You have to share it. It's your responsibility to share it, because there's people out there sharing misinformation who don't do the business, and people are getting scammed. And we got to elevate the situation. And so that was it was actually the defining moment for me. It was Brent Daniels.
Well, I think Josiah too, coming out with Astro early on, and you building that up and doing all the being the backbone of all of that, and then taking the helm. I think I was always a team sports type of guy, right? And I always liked the speeches that the coach would give. I always thought, how did they come up with that? How do they put this? They're thinking about all these things, and then they gotta, they gotta not motivate us, but like keep us all like together and focused on the job at hand and all that. And I always had great admiration for all the coaches or big professors that I had in college, or even some great teachers in high school. I just thought that it was great how they could just change a perspective, and it led me to being more curious. And so I think curiosity is an underrated skill, or underrated, attribute, I guess. And so I just wanted to see, if what I did worked for other people.
Yeah.
And it did. And then you find principles in that, and you go, okay, if it works for me and it works for this guy and this gal, then does it work for everybody? Right. And then you just try to put together all the things that work for everybody and just get as loud as possible for it. Because again, you're going to be, you're going to be a picture on somebody's wall 100 years from now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're lucky, if you're fortunate, if your family likes you.
Well, not even on somebody's wall. You're going to be, everything's digitized.
It's going to be in somebody's
someone's like
computer
moving
glasses.
Photo frame or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
so I mean, what lasts is the echoes of the value that you provided.
Yeah.
And you just hope they do as much of that as possible.
Bruce, it's my favorite quote. Bruce Lee said, "The key to immortality is living a life worth remembering."
Mm-hmm.
That hit me. I remember I watched that Bruce Lee document. No, it wasn't a documentary. It was like the Bruce Lee story or whatever, right? With that Jason Scott Lee guy as the actor. He did a phenomenal job.
Dragon.
So good. So good. Bolo Young was the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
He bounced his titties, he did the thing.
Oh, he was so good.
But that movie was phenomenal. But like you look at like a man like Bruce Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was here a short time.
Yeah.
And did so much.
Mm-hmm.
And people still regard him as the greatest martial artist of all time.
Yeah.
You look at Tupac,
mm-hmm.
26 years, dude. He passes at 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go and listen to any of his albums and find timelessness in all of them.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, what are you going to leave behind here? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Love it. What are the pros and cons of a down market?
Oh,
Nicholas asks. Nicholas Sams.
A down market is the time to buy, my friend. That is when you are the negotiation king. You are cash rules. The buyer gets to decide. A down market is where you buy deep. You buy deep. I have gotten the best deals that I've ever bought in the down market. That's not what, like, it's the greatest time. People got it twisted. They're like, oh, it's a down market right now. I don't want to be involved in real estate. And that's why you are a sheep, because you are not letting yourself think outside of the box. You're not understanding how the actual world operates in the world of real estate. And when there's fewer buyers at the table, which makes it a down market, that makes all the people who are sellers very, very, very desperate. Mm-hmm. Very desperate. Mm-hmm. You're the hot chick at the party.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that was so derogatory, but it's what it is. Like you are like you're the one everybody wants to know. You're the one everybody wants to look at, talk to, be around, because you can write the check, you can close the deal, and that means that I am selective. I can be selective, I can be aggressive, and I can get what I want for way less than I'm going to have to pay when the market is up and crazy. What's the downs of it?
Down market?
I don't
Let's
think
answer that.
I don't think it.
What do you think kind of market is this?
It was balanced, stale.
Right.
It was stale.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you leave your clothes in the washing machine a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
That smelled like that for a bit. But it's not like that anymore. It's downy now. It smells good.
Not downy.
No, it's downy.
Downy.
Downy. You know, like
Yeah.
with the fabric softener.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No static. It's good. I'm excited about 24, dude. I'm super bullish on it. I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. I do not see the housing asset class have any danger. And as I was again looking, you guys have to watch this YouTube video we put out next Monday with Jason Hartman. I just don't know a more intelligent person who's everything he says is data driven.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like in the numbers. He's swimming in the numbers. And when he comes to a conclusion on where things are going, it's with a lot of thought and analysis. And it's not one of these opinions. You know, it's funny. I was listening to the CIA operative who was talking about how you can actually get somebody you're talking to actually like have like identify with your opinion or even like implant it into their head and make it theirs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some trickery, right? It's not even that. We're not messing around here. Like, I'm not saying to you guys, like, hey guys, the market's going to be really good so that you guys all just go out and do real estate right now. This is like, if you do not take advantage of what's going to happen in this year, I don't know what's going to happen in 25. I don't have enough information to determine that. I'm going to be watching 2 data points over the year, months of inventory, days on market. Those are my 2 most important data points I'm going to be watching in the year. If months of inventory get close to 6, start pausing.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 2.5 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's going to be soaked up early this quarter.
Yeah.
It already is.
Yeah.
I mean, you already see properties going under contract really fast. Guys, what you can do is you can go to realtor.com, and you can look at all of the active listings in your area. All right. It pulls it up. The first thing is it's going to pull up actives and pendings. Now, what you can do is you can go into the more, but now I will share this, but I don't think the computer's connected. Is it, Matt? It's all right. Don't worry about it. And you can go in and you can look at, you can remove all of the pendings. And so then you look and you go, okay, there was 5,000 active and pending. If I remove all the pendings, that takes it down to 3,500. Then subtract, all right, 35 from 5, there's 1,500 pending listings. Right? Yep. And then you go, what is the active listings divided by the pending listings? Yep. And that'll tell you how many months of inventory, which also affect the percentages that we have to get, right? Listen, in a good market, in a bad market, in a stale market, we still have to talk to people. We still have to find opportunities. That doesn't change. The only thing that changes is our negotiations and what price we can lock that property up. So if you are if you're over 2 months of inventory, typically you're going to run the 70% minus repairs rule. Typically, if we're just broad stroking it. If it's less than 2 months, now you're at 80% minus repairs. Well, I was texting with you today. I mean, we're at like 82, 84%.
I'm at 82 minus repairs.
Minus repairs.
Yeah.
Here is what deals sell for.
Yep.
Is what deals are selling for. And we're right there at that like 2 month inventory.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's really the key indicator.
And
if you're
you guys want to know how to I'm still standing behind my dollar per square foot flat method right now on a cosmetic right now, guys.
Yes.
Don't spend a half an hour pricing out baseboards.
Tell them what
paint.
Do they use?
It's $60 a foot.
Yep.
It's $60 a foot right now for cosmetic. It's what it is. And this is excluding SoCal and New York. Excluding SoCal and New York, everywhere else in the country, it's $60 a square foot for a well done cosmetic remodel. That's like, the nice stone, like a well done cosmetic
You're talking
remodel.
kitchens, bathroom,
bathroom, all
$60.
$60 a foot. That'll and if you use that number and it needs less, good for you because you got a better deal, right? But you can be very confident that at $60 a square foot, as long as you're not talking Cali or New York, your number is going to be pretty on the money.
Matt, can you put this computer on or no? Yeah, that'd be fine. I'll show you guys how to pull this right here because it's pretty easy, and I just want to make sure that you guys understand the math because this gets tricky for a lot of people.
I apologize. It's not 60. It's 50. I'm so sorry. It's 50. My head's in the wrong spot. It's $50 a foot. Soundbite. $50 a foot.
Yeah,
it is $50 a foot. Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, you look at it, and you're even carpet and paint. Even just going in and
what used to be $1. It used to be $1.
Yeah.
You guys are doing some math right now. You guys in a remodel right now, by chance? Anybody in a remodel in here by chance? No. Yeah. I mean, it's where it's shaking out right now.
There we go. You want to share that, Matt? Put that up there. All right, guys, just put a main screen, please. And here we go. All right. So if you look here, guys, I just put in Phoenix. We'll just start from the top, just so that every step is taken care of. Put in whatever city you're in. Okay, put it in right here, and you're going to go search. And right here, you're going to see how many properties there are. Right here at the top. See where this is highlighted? Right here. All right? That's weird that my mouse doesn't show it, Matt. We got to figure that out. Anyway, so 4,648 homes. And then you go to listing status and go hide pendings and contingent. Okay? And then you go, and it's 3414. Take that and divide. So you've got 3414. There's 4,600. There's 1,200 pending in Phoenix. Just divide. It's about 3. It's about 3-month inventory there. And this is probably
that is a buyer's market.
Yeah.
A balanced seller buyer market is 6 months. You get over 6 months, you are in it is a seller's market right now.
Right.
When you are at 6 months, you are at a balanced market. When you are over 6 months, you're in a buyer's market.
Oh, there you go. No. Easy peasy. There it is. So, guys, again, go back there, Matt. Let me just remove this one more time. So, listing status, I removed it. We got 4,648 homes. You go to listing status, hide the pendings and contingent, and then just subtract that 46 by this number will give you the amount of pendings. And then you take this number divided by pendings gives you month of inventory. If there are questions, please put it in the chat. We're here.
Get them in there, guys.
To answer any questions.
How do you not have questions? It's the start of the year. You all are getting your businesses off and popping. Anybody in the audience here got one for us? We'll take one. Yeah, come on up. Come on up. We want the sound. Come over here. We don't smell.
Yeah.
So, as a college student, in the beginning of 2024, you guys are saying a lot of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
How would you recommend that we start from scratch?
I love it.
Starting from scratch. First, drop out of college. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Look, I'm college experience is phenomenal. Okay, enjoy it. But how would you start from scratch? Well, you got to look at the amount of time you've got right now, right? You're in class all day. So how much actual free time do you have in your day on a?
I have a decent amount. I'm taking a lot of online classes.
Okay. So give me a number.
Probably, I would say 5-6 hours.
You have 5-6 hours available a day. All right. Do you have a job?
I do not.
Okay. So you are in the best position possible right now. So you can take those 5 hours, and you can literally spend that entire time prospecting.
Mm-hmm.
And all you've got to do is choose the method of prospect that you want to do, right? You're not going to go pay-per-click, bro. You're a college student. Right. You're not going to spend $30,000 a month in pay-per-click. It's not for you.
Nope.
Okay. You're going to cold call homeowners,
mm-hmm.
or you're going to do agent outreach, or you're going to do JVs. That is how you are going to make this work.
Explain to them agent outreach.
Okay. Agent outreach is you are calling real estate agents, and you're asking them, and these are cold calls, right? This is like, you're like, hey, look, and careful with the list. DM me. I'll send you a list, and I'll send you an agent list. Okay. And whatever market you're working in, I'll hook you up. But don't call them off Zillow, because it costs them $100 when you do that, like 60 to $100 when you use the Zillow number.
Oh yeah.
And they get really mad when you do that.
No,
They
go
get
to
really mad. Like, find their cell number through the list I'll get you or whatever, right?
It's on Zillow.
But you call their cell, and you're like, look, I'm looking for a house that's in original condition, something that could be even falling down, original condition, needing a tremendous amount of work. You got something like that I could take a look at before you put it on the MLS. I really like to see them before they're on the MLS, because you're young. So I work with a group of investors. They are very finicky about appraisals once the houses get flipped. Appraisers and lenders have been really tough on us, and it's true. All of what I'm saying to you is true right now. They've been tough on us with appraisals, so we really want to get these before they get hit on the MLS, so we don't create a price stamp. Anything in your office, you have any friends, any other agents you work with that have something like that, I'd love to take a look at it. And they're going to give you an answer, yes or no. It's likely going to be no, not right now. Say, wonderful. Do me a favor. What's your name? Okay, do me a favor. Put me in your phone as Alex has money, wants to buy houses. Like, literally put my name in your phone like that. Okay, save me in your phone as something memorable, and I'm going to give you a text every couple weeks and just check in. Because I am hungry. I'm hungry for an opportunity right now to be able to get to work. That's it. End the call. On to the next. Do that 50 times a day and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, I'm going to show you a different technique as well. Right here, this is what Jamil's talking about, guys. Make sure that you do not go to this contact agent part right here. It's still not showing for some reason, Matt. You do. Okay. Don't go here to the contact agent. Go to this number down here, listed by. You can call them off of this, but don't just contact by agent here, because then Zillow charges them. Okay.
Yeah, and they get so salty on that. They get so mad. It's like fastest, because it's like they're paying Zillow for that lead, and you're calling them to see if there's something. And look, the fact is that the realtor doesn't quite understand your value yet, because you're not calling on the listing that they want to sell right now. You're calling on the future, right? And it's like, we all enjoy what we can eat right now more than what we think we're going to be able to eat in next month, right? So even though you're worth $100 on the Zillow lead, because if she brings you he brings you the opportunity and you connect the dots, they get paid anyways, likely double commission, because you're going to let them dual represent and represent the seller and yourself, which, like, they literally make 6% instead of 3%. That you will be a much more valuable relationship for that $100 Zillow listing than just some person calling and being like, what are the blinds like? Because that's what that person's also getting too for that $100 call, right? So, but they don't get that quite yet. So it's a kinder way to make an approach, not to cost the agent money when you're calling them. But I'm telling you, man, if you do that, you do what I just said, and then don't just make that initial call. Follow up, right? It's 8 to 13 touches. It's okay. There's a guy, AJ Pratt, right? Astro community dude. He got super pumped. He's doing agent outreach. Again, 9-to-5 job. So he's not in your situation, right? He didn't have the time. You've got the time. So you don't got to go spend money on software or do a bunch of stuff. Just do the work. This guy has a full-time job. He had other things, obligations, kid, family, the whole nine. So he gets the blaster thing going. He sets it on. It hit this one agent with a follow-up 19 times. What person? And you know how many times the agent responded on those 19? None.
Yeah.
It was a follow-up, no response. Follow-up, no response. Follow-up, no response. Follow-up, no response. You would have given up at what, 4? 5? Let's be real here. When would you have given up? 6? Probably 3, right? You would have given up. You would have given up. 19 touches, $25,000. Come on, this is what it is, right? And so, like, it is a game of doing exactly what Brent says. Talk to the people, right? You got to talk to people. You got to do that, and then you got to follow up. Because if you just have these little bursts of motivation and discipline is not in the equation, it doesn't work.
Discipline takes you places motivation can't. That's for sure. So you can go out and, like, zero budget, take that pad of paper, drive around town, write down the addresses of the ugliest houses. Okay. Just the ugliest houses that need renovation. And you could go right here. This is a slick website, cyberbackgroundchecks.com.
Ooh.
Right? Cyberbackgroundchecks.com. You put the address in here and it'll give you the contact information for the owner
And
of that
will it
property.
also tell you their arrest record?
And it'll, well, if you pay
Oh,
for it, it'll tell you anything you want to know about them. But you don't need to worry about that. We don't care. Listen, let them live their lives. We just want to buy their house. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, by the way, I noticed that you got a house. It's kind of, I drove by your house. It's falling apart. Also, I did a background check. You're a pedophile. How much you want to sell your house for?
Build some rapport there. So you can go right there, Cyberbound. You get the phone number, you call them up, you say, you know what, I know that this is out of the blue, but I was calling about your property on 1212 Banana Street. Just want to see if you would consider an offer on your property there. All right. They're going to tell you yes, no, maybe. How much will you give me? Who are you? And how'd you get my number? That's it. There's only 6 responses. Only 6 responses when you ask somebody if they would consider an offer on their property. All right. And you just do that over and over and over and over and over again, right? Just to the ugliest properties. Now, if you have a little bit of budget or if you can pool a budget, I would highly suggest you go to Deal Machine, get the pro plan. It's $150 a month, which might be too much if you don't have a budget, but figure it out. Like, put together a whole like PowerPoint and put it in front of your parents and like get the budget for it. Right. And you can go and virtually drive for dollars through Google Maps. And most of the major cities have really good Google Map images. And you could, if you see an ugly house, you literally click on it and Deal Machine gives you their phone number for free. And so then you get a list of them and you just start calling them up and asking them, would you consider an offer on their property? And typically you talk to 200 of them and you'll get a deal. That's it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how you start building up the momentum and be around these guys. These guys are doing it every single day. You know what I mean? And so the big thing is, and the reason that Pace, Jamil, and myself have been doing this show for almost 4 years now.
My goodness.
Almost 4 years.
Wow.
Is with the thread of the show is to squat up. You got to be around people doing this business, because if you're not, then you're going to feel a little bit awkward. Or you're not going to be consistent with it. If you see other people being disciplined, you're going to be disciplined. It's like waking up and going to the gym in the morning, right? If you have some buddies going to the gym with you, or if you have a trainer, you're going to show up. But if it's just you waking up and you're going to go like do curls in your garage, at 4:30 in the morning, it lasts for a little bit, but then, it's inconsistent. You know what I mean? So definitely squat up, just go and find some rough, and in this, they'll show you a whole bunch of other reasons people are motivated to sell their property, whether they're going through divorce or pre-foreclosure, or they have liens on their property, or they've owned it for a long time, but it's in rough shape. It'll all be here. And it's a really great tool. And if you use TTP as like the coupon code, I think they give you like either a month free or a week free or something like that. So definitely check that out. They've done a really good job. They put a lot of money into it, and now they've got free skip tracing, which skip tracing just means getting their phone numbers, the contact information for that.
How's
property.
the data been on that?
Apparently great.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just trying to like.
They're
trying to kill all.
I'm not saying any names. There's, I was having a hard time.
Yeah.
On another platform.
Yep.
Since a Dr. Deal Junkie is a platform I'm using for direct to sellers.
I got
crushing, right?
Yep.
The skip tracing there was like, when I do it live.
Yeah.
I want to make phone calls.
Well, I talked to them and I made them clean it up.
I want people to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I was in another little thing doing a live, and it's just like, you have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Yeah.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm doing this for 15 minutes, man. Come on.
Well, you were hand dialing too.
What's hand dialing?
Yeah, you got to put it in a dialer.
Yeah,
so you don't never even hear that.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you can get a dialer, which will dial for you. And then you start
Then you get
building
a
in your
headset and you
efficiencies.
feel real
Hell
official.
yeah. And then you start walking
Yeah.
around.
You get
know
a
what I
little
mean?
Jabra
You
headset
start
with
swinging
noise
like a
cancellation
golf
on it.
club while you're making calls.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I mean?
just now you're
Start
yep.
pickleballing
You're all the
the
things.
air while you're making calls, getting that energy up. Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's what I would do. You could do it absolutely for free. I did my first 20 deals exactly how I told you, with a yellow pad of paper, driving around, just writing down ugly houses and just calling that property owner. And that's it. And if you can't get a hold of them, you can do a little handwritten card that you can send for 50 cents or whatever. And then just start building the momentum. But that's how you find the opportunities. You either go to the people that represent these property owners, or you talk to them yourself.
Yep. And they're both interesting conversations.
Oh yeah.
And very different.
Very different.
They're very different conversations, right? You're dealing with one that's a real estate professional, so their job is to trade in real estate. When you're dealing with an agent, so requires you to be able to speak their lingo. And there's lingo. There's definitely a lingo. Bobby, we should do a little lingo sheet, little infographic on my Instagram
for agents.
For agents, yeah, because they got their little lingos, and if you know, if you can speak agent lingo, if you can speak agentese, they're like, it's immediate trust.
Yeah,
it's immediate trust because you're saying the right words.
Austin got on stage in front of the whole group yesterday. He never made a call. Made a call like on. I just pulled up Zillow, put in TLC as a search word, and just was calling agents.
Yeah.
He just had a great conversation right away.
Beautiful,
right?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
They're not scary.
No.
And when they're scary, move on to the next one.
That's
right?
it.
There's gonna be there. Look, people are people, and you never know what's going on in somebody's day. You don't. I realize that you can call somebody on a Monday and something real terrible is going on in their situation in life, and they're going to be a jerk to you. That doesn't make them a jerk, right? You can call that same person back 2 weeks later, and they won't even know that you called them 2 weeks prior. No. They won't even remember that they were a jerk to you, and they'll be a completely different person. So never take this stuff personally, regardless of whether you're going direct to homeowner or you're going direct to agent. Never take it personal. Always give people the benefit of having a bad day and move on to the next. Don't internalize the negativity when it comes, because it'll come. When people tell you to do things to your body that you can't even physically do, which they will, just bless them and move on, man. It's and this is exactly what the business is, right? Thicken up your skin. It's going to give you some incredible communication skills. And, whether or not you become a full-time wholesaler, or what are you doing in college? Finance. Cool. So, that's great. Whether you become a full-time wholesaler or you do something in the world of finance, what you gain and experience in this will make you so much better at what you may ultimately do in the end, that this will be the real education. Because they're not teaching you this stuff in finance classes. I'm telling you, they're not. They're not teaching you how to connect, how to create business, how to be able to secure the deal, how to bring the money in. They don't teach you that, because the dudes teaching, guess what? They failed at it. That's why they're teaching it. Like in a college. Like, that's why they're doing it, because they actually couldn't do it in real life. Why does he still run a wholesale business? Why do I still run a wholesale business? For the exact reason, I can't lose my edge. I don't want to be the professor. I can't, right? I got to be in it. I still got to be in it. I got people sending me deals every freaking day. Still comping. I'm still comping houses. I'm 45 years old. I shouldn't have to be comping houses, but I'm still comping houses. But I enjoy it. I love it. I do. I actually do. It's like a puzzle game to me, And you'll learn these different skills, and it'll serve you well, man. It really will.
How do you handle showings if you're wholesaling virtually?
Ooh, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so first, you got to have boots on the ground. You need boots on the ground, because if you don't, your showing is going to go to hell in a handbasket. Your buyers are going to 1000% start talking to the agent, or if it's a direct to homeowner showing, whatever, if it's an agent opening the door, or if it's a direct to seller deal and it's a homeowner opening the door, that person is very likely going to say, even if they're not surreptitiously trying to steal the deal from you or create like some kind of situation, people just say dumb stuff. So you've always got to have some boots on the ground that can give your buyer the rules of engagement, right? This is what we're going to do when we walk into the house. And Bobby and I are going to shoot some content this coming season where we actually show you what that showing should look like, right? Like we'll do we'll get a Keegley property. We'll put together a showing. We'll mic me up. I'm going to do the talk where I talk to the buyers and I explain to them how this is going to play out. And I'm going to map them through. But what you do is you tell them, listen, we're going to go in the house. You're going to say nothing. You don't talk to the seller. You don't talk to the agent. You speak to nobody. If you want to ask questions about the house, write them down. Ask me about them later. I can get it to you from a conversation I have with my connection, or I'll get it to you in the SPUDs, which are the seller's property disclosure statement. But no talking in the house. That's what it is. Do not ask questions. Just go in there, do what you got to do. Look at the walls, look at the things, take measurements. I'm watching. So we all got it. You got it. Cool. Then you go in with a nice little treat, and whoever it is, whether it be the realtor or the homeowner, you give them a treat. You're like, hey, how's it going? I brought you a cinnamon roll. How you doing today? Things are good. Let your buyers walk around, do their thing. You're distracting the homeowner. You're just like letting them do their thing. They're having a conversation with you, eating Cinnabon. Let the people do their thing. The ducks run out. They're got sticky cream cheese all over their face. You walk out, get the deal done, sold outside. That's how you do a showing.
Ill Minds asks, Brent, what percentage of your deals are novations right now? 0%. But I like novations. I think novations could be a really nice tool in the toolbox.
It's so risky though.
We just haven't done it. What do you mean?
Bro, like you keep the title in the seller's name and now you're renovating the house?
No. This is just...
You're talking about like a net listing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what people call novations now. It's basically you're replacing yourself with a conventional buyer. Novation means replacing. And so what you do is you put a property under contract that's in somewhat, you can get conventional financing. This isn't really destroyed properties. These are just properties that are in okay shape, but the seller just doesn't want to deal with it, right? And I'm actually having Rich Wonders, that's a great name. Do you know Rich?
I do. I love him.
Great guy. Yeah. Rich Wonders on the podcast tomorrow. So I'm going to really pick his brain because he does a lot of these. And I see a lot of Instagram ads for novations and the whole thing. And I think that there's a time and a place. We typically focus on rougher looking properties, but I think that there's probably I love that, Daniel Keanu. There's probably some great places that we can add this to our business. So I want to pick his brain on exactly, where that fits. I was working with Todd Toback about a year and a half ago, and he was doing some great trainings on that as well. And it hasn't been a real fit for the presentations that we've done so far, but we probably are doing it wrong. So I'm going to figure that out.
Cool. I mean, that'll be an episode.
So it's like wholesale. It's wholesaling
on the MLS
with conventional buyers.
Got it.
Right.
Yep.
Because you do a net proceeds, right?
Yep.
And so you get a certain amount that you get paid.
Yeah, you're like
on the seller side. The seller knows what you're getting paid. They just want a white glove treatment.
Yep.
They don't want to deal with anything. They just want it to be sold. They don't mind if you put it on the market. So it messes with my brain.
Yeah,
it does. Because I'm like cash.
Yeah,
cash or creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's going to be really, really, really great. So stay tuned for that. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do that.
Likewise, folks, we're excited. We're excited for the year to come. A lot of opportunity. A lot of deals are going to get done. A lot of millionaires are going to be made.
Yep.
A lot of money will be made this year. Don't sleep on the opportunities. And also don't let yourself become a victim of these little spurts of motivation and not having it coupled to discipline, because I'm telling you, the discipline is what's going to win the game for you all the time. Get up, do it when it hurts, because that's when it matters the most.
Yep. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Wholesale Hotline. We're out.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.